Actively play as a unit from the start, and we can make things happen.
Came out at halftime, locked back in, and I felt that the last 30 minutes we were locked in and focused. But the mental side of the game got us in that second quarter.
Defensive coordinator Kevin Klunsbunch recorded its second-half shutout of the season, second against a Pac-12 team. Fact is, they've only given up 21 second-half points all season. And after giving up the scores, Rainbow Warriors defense forced 8 punts on the next 10 possessions, producing 5 3-and-out series, plus another INT. Second this season by TJ Taimatuia. TJ's return on the interception covered 34 yards, and it set up the Hawaii offense on the 6-yard line. But the end result was Tyler Haddon's 4th field goal of the game, the Rainbow Warriors' 4th trip into the red zone.
Obviously, the team's feeling, not happy, but Coach showed us to not give up and just keep pushing. We have a lot more games left, and we just got to fix our mistakes, watch film, and get better. That's all we can control right now.
That was all the scoring. 21-12 the final. Hawaii dropped to 1-3. Buffalo's now even at 2-2. That's 14 consecutive road losses for the UH football team, and the first time in 51 games since its season opener against Colorado State back in 2010 that Colorado did not give up a touchdown. Now, record receiving by a Buffs pass catcher, more stellar special teams play by Scott Harding. I know, there's a lot of questions you want answered. We'll get to that. I'm Robert Kikaula. This is Norm Chow, Inside Access, here in OC Sports. Just back from Colorado, I want to welcome UH head football coach Norm Chow. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you, Robert.
Is it another case of woulda, coulda, shoulda at the end of the day when you look at what happened and the opportunities again?
Well, when you play good people, I keep saying it over and over again, we cannot afford to not be at our best. And, like you said earlier in the show, I saw the opening. It is a disappointment. I thought our guys tried hard. We just made too many silly mistakes that we just have to cut out. We're not good enough that we can get by without, we have to play mistake-free football against good people.
It seems like, and I don't know why it is. I mean, I see the effort every day in practice. I see these kids putting the work in. If you could just start the games in the second half, you might be 4-0 right now.
Well, I love these young fellas, young men. They do a great job. They bought in. The coaches do a terrific job. We just, like I said, just the little things that really matter against good teams, we just can't afford to make them.
Would you call it at this point offensive woes?
Well, I don't know if it's woes necessarily. I thought we started out well. I was disappointed in last night. I think the play of our quarterbacks, obviously needs to be improved. We need to be a lot more productive. And, there's a lot of things involved. It's not just one guy, but the one guy that gets all the credit and all the blame is the quarterback.
It's always the case. When a football team wins, you see a quarterback get all the praise. When a football team loses, the quarterbacks, whoever it may be, or even if it's by committee, they get all the blame. But there were opportunities.
They were. They certainly were. And they schemed us nicely. They left a lot of guys in the box, and they dared our receivers outside, and we needed to win more than we were winning outside, and it got us. Marcus and Quentin had some tough goals. We played against some real good corners, but we need to make those plays.
And this offense seems like it needs somebody, anybody, to step up and say, Coach, I'm your guy. I'm the guy who's going to be the playmaker. Here's your 3 quarterbacks. Ikaiko Woozy, the starter, replaced by Jeremy Higgins, and late in the game, Taylor Graham gets in. Combined 17 for 46 for 155 yards and the 1 interception. After the game, here's Jordan Wynn.
No one's giving up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to go work even harder. Lucky for us, we have 8 or 9 more opportunities, so Got 2 weeks to get ready for Rice, put together a good game plan, and try and find a way to score touchdowns. And we didn't score. That's the fact of the matter. So, there's no gray area. It's black or white, and we didn't get it done today.
Now, those were the 3 plays after the TJ timeout to interception. I thought that could have changed the game. Offense gets the ball at the 6, and the end result is another field goal. That could have changed everything.
Sure. And we obviously need to work harder in the red zone. I thought we had the second down call was especially good that Jordan made, and I thought we could get it. We knew the coverage, and we just didn't get it done. We have a little rub route, we call it, but again, we just have to start making them.
Higgins leaves the game, ice pack on his left hand. What's the status on him?
It's fractured, Robert. We'll probably, I think we've lost him.
So Ikaika Wuzi will be your starting quarterback this week, and then Taylor Graham, I'm taking it in practice. Those 2 guys will just get all the reps and get the work in.
Yes, and we have to consider a third one, and we've got a couple guys. Max Wittig is there, but he's not eligible, so we'll see. It'll probably be Bo Riley.
Now, before we talk about Stephen Lakalaka, I want to ask you. You guys left on Thursday. That Thursday morning practice I thought was an excellent practice. You leave Hawaii, and I'm thinking, this team's ready. I saw ready on Thursday morning's practice.
Our guy, we practice hard every day. We practice hard every day. You could tell after the game that it mattered to these young men. We have to. Our routine is so different from others that when we sat around at a hotel while Al and those guys loaded the plane, and it hurt. It hurt our guys. You could see it in their eyes, and we just have to come back, just like Jordan said and Steve said. We have to come back, and we will. We will. These guys are too proud.
Second week in a row, Stephen Lakalaka, the Punahou product, replaces Joey Iosefa, and your running back produces 123 yards. Again, you get great effort from a guy who stepped up for another injured player.
Yes, and we have so many of them, but Steve is doing a tremendous job for us. And you talked about a guy that's willing to step up. I think Steve is the one on offense. We need to get our receivers doing a little bit more than that as well.
So we could go against Northern Iowa. He gets 32 carries. Against the Buffaloes, you kind of squashed him down to about 19. Was 20 that 20 area the number you targeted?
That's where you like to be, but we have to throw it better. The way they were playing defense, it required us to throw the ball more than we normally would because they were loading the box up to take Steve away, and so we needed to throw it, and we just didn't get it done throwing.
Stephen Lakalaka, 19 carries for 123 yards. It's a 6.5 yard per carry average. His long run of 30 yards.
The O-line did a great job today. They gave me big holes, and I just executed. I did my job, they did their job, and that was a good running game today. We just got to get more confidence in ourselves. We've been losing a lot, so some of us are not used to being in a situation of winning how we did in high school or years before. So we just got to man up. We got to step it up, and like I said, we got to control. Right now, we just got to get better. That's all that matters.
The evolution of the University of Hawaii offense from when you first got here. You've run the gamut. You've started at A, you're now at like X, Y, and Z. What do you do with a football team to shake it up, to look for the next guy, the playmaker, somebody to step up?
Well, we just
open it up.
Just open it up, and I don't know what else to do other than the fact that there are young people that want to do well. Steve stepped up for Joey. We need to have others do that. We will do anything to have a chance to put our guys in a position to be successful. I've said that all along. As an offense, what you do is try to give your players a chance and to be successful and do the right things.
Level of frustration on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you?
Well, about 50, Robert. Because I cherish the relationship with these young people and the effort that they give us, and we just need to get better.
We'll talk defense when Norm Chow inside access continues after a shaky start. Hawaii's defense played lockdown football.
Let's go!
There's Ralphie. It's one of the top-rated mascots in all of college football. Ralphie gets up to 25 miles per hour in that pregame run, and it takes 16 handlers who are on scholarship. And fact is, everybody thinks Ralphie is a he. Ralphie has always been a she because the female bison is less aggressive and basically smaller.
Well, why is the name Ralphie?
That's what I want to know. Why name him Ralphie? Welcome back to Norm Chow Inside Access here on OC Sports. Let's talk defense. 2 turnovers. You forced 9 punts. 5 series, you hold Colorado 3 and out. That's some pretty good defense.
It is. Our defensive guys are really playing well, and Kevin is doing a tremendous job getting them ready. You know, we gave up a couple of big plays that hurt us, a couple of third down plays that really hurt us, would have got us the ball. But overall, we couldn't be happy with Kevin and Lou and Durante and Kurt and the job that they're doing and the job that our players are doing.
Now, the fact is, this season, Hawaii's defense has only given up 21 points in the second half. They held Washington, another Pac-12 team, scoreless after intermission. Oregon State, another Pac-12 team, scored 7 points after halftime. Northern Iowa scored 14, and Colorado, on the road, held scoreless in the second half. It's an average of only 5.3 points through 4 games. That's a crazy number.
That's terrific, and they deserve a lot of credit. Yes, they do.
And Kevin Clune, you're a first-year defensive coordinator, liking what he's seen so far, but his philosophy is simple. If the other guy scored 21, we need to hold him to 22. It's just 1 point. That's all he's after.
That's all.
We practice against up-tempo, slow-tempo. We practice against all that stuff against our offense all the time, so that's not as much. Just, good ball players. Number 22, Spruce did a great job. He's a great route runner. The quarterback did a great job. He was tough in there. We took some shots on him, but he was tough. But it was not really the tempo. It's just us taking care of business, the mental side of the game. Our D-line is a solid D-line. I believe in our D-line. I think once we get the league, that's going to become a dominant force. And they got stronger as the game went on. And I'm 100% behind those guys. And they took care of business, I thought, today.
The guys up front, Kennedy Tuli Marcelli, Moses Mia, Marcus Malapai returns. Your leading tackler was Julian Jenner, your junior linebacker, at 11 stops, 8 of them solo. Also, safety Taz Stevenson had 11 tackles as well. Naquan Phillips had 9 stops. But after the game, we caught up with Julian Jenner.
I'm up and down about how we played. Second half we played lights out, but in the first half it was making mistakes here and there, and they're capitalizing. So we can't have that. We got to come out the same way the whole game. I think we've had like 3 more wins already, which we're tired of. We need wins in the win category, but we just got to find a way to start from the beginning. That's all I can really go to is that. Once we start from the beginning, we should be able to shut every team out, lights out pretty much. That's the way I feel about it.
Give this much to a guy like Jenner. To fix the problem, you got to identify the problem. He's quickly identified the start to the football game is just as important as the finish to the football game. It's tough to figure out where that's coming from.
By the way, I don't know if you mentioned Luke Shawley played well.
Yeah.
Too. We put him in for some pass rush purposes, and he did a nice job.
He put some hits on their quarterback.
Yes, he did. And you need to get that guy off rhythm. And good quarterbacks will stand back there if they have time. Anybody will get you.
Now, talk about their quarterback, Sefo Leofau, and a combination, the pass catcher with Spruce. They connect 13 times. Spruce has a career game, 172 yards and a touchdown. But I think you had opportunities even after they hit you for the 71.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so disappointing, I guess, like you said earlier. We had our chances offensively, and we need to do better. We just have to do better. That came after that Nelson's long pass came after. We got up on them 3-0. Should have had a touchdown, had to settle for a field goal, and it came back to hurt us.
And this kid gave your football. He came up flatly and said, Spruce did, that Hawaii's the best football team they played this season because how physical you were on defense. Is that everybody was talking about it on their sideline, that these guys aren't fooling around. They're hitting us.
Oh, wow. I tried to recruit him, by the way, when I was at another university.
So Spruce's numbers, we mentioned 172 yards. That's a career best for him. He's also scored a touchdown in 6 consecutive games. So defense gives you opportunity. First play of the game, Naquan Phillips gets a pick. Then you drive the field. Hawaii turns the ball over on a missed block to the outside. Later on, you get a 14-yard drive and again settle for a field goal. That could have changed the game.
Any one of those times. Like I say, the red zone, we talk about the red zone all the time. You need to score touchdowns in the red zone if you're going to be a good football team.
We got much more to talk about special play on special teams yet again by one guy. And then the one guy who maybe been on the radar, this football team, stepped up and delivered. Norm Chow. Inside Access continues after this.
At home.
Welcome back to Norm Chow, Inside Access here on OC Sports. This particular Rainbow Warrior football player did all of the scoring in Boulder, Colorado for UH. We're talking about Tyler Haddon, who's the returnee as the place kicker. He's been putting up monster numbers on the kickoff. He's averaging over 64 yards per kickoff, and he gets it through the uprights every opportunity he had. Now, the good news is Tyler Haddon was 4 for 4 on field goal opportunities. The bad news is Tyler Haddon was 4 for 4 in field goal opportunities, but you take them when you can get them.
Well, you need to score points, and too bad it wasn't 4 for 4 with PATs. But Tyler is kicking the ball very well. You know, that air is a little thinner up there. Both kickoff guys were kicking it off in the end zone, and didn't allow much for returns.
So he converts on his season long of 41 yards. In that game, he made field goals of 35, 25 yards, 41 yards, and 24 yards. He's 10 of 11 this season in field goal opportunities.
Credit's due to our special teams coach, Coach Simo. He does a good job coaching our unit up. And the 10 guys in front of me, no seepage all day. And Kaika, my holder, and our snapper did a great job getting it back there. Perfect holds, and it's just me to put the finishing touch on it. So credit to those 10 other guys and our special teams coach. Obviously, I'm healthy. I'm strongest I've ever been in my career. One thing that I really harp on is, game time experience. I go out there and it's like a routine now. It's not even, I don't feel pressure or anything. And I think that plays a really big role in it.
Now, for the record, this is a kid who fought through a list of injuries, and he put himself back in game shape, had a great offseason to get himself healthy. You're getting now what you expected to get from last season before the injuries took place. Sure.
And his recruiting story was a little unique as well. When Coach Mackin and those fellows recruited him, there was some kind of story to it. So he's very fortunate. I mean, he's here, very grateful to be here, and he's one of our real team leaders as well.
The other player on special teams that I thought had yet another outstanding game, he's the current Mountain West Conference Special Teams Player of the Week, Scott Harding, and punting. I just don't get how he does that. He puts it on the 1 yard line again. He had 9 punts, averaged 41.6 yards, and 5 of them went inside the 20, including the one you saw at the 1 yard line. Makes a catch for 16 yards, has 3 punt returns for 25 yards. Scott Harding is having a heck of a senior season.
Anywhere where I can try and get inside the 20, and then even I try and aim to get at least 1 down on the 1 or 2 or something like that every game, and it really boosts our defense and can sometimes change the momentum of the game, and that's what I try and do, and as much as I can.
Coach, before we look at final numbers, Scott Harding, when he's back there, he's going to do something rugby style, whether it be left foot, whether it be right foot. Do you have any clue where the ball's going?
No. None, and I don't think anyone does either. I mean, it's not like you sit around teaching this guy how to kick. The way he puts the ball, it always rolls forward.
It's crazy.
It is amazing, and he's so valuable to us that we have to kind of pick and choose because we'll wear him out.
Now you got the up-tempo, no-huddle offense. You've run 91 plays in one game, but yet you got a guy like Harding, who the result is almost old school because he wins you the field position battle.
Yeah.
That's like NFL stuff.
Yes, he does. And when he bounces and our guys are down because it takes so long for him to punt it because he's running all over the place, our guys get to go downfield and be around that football. And it's amazing. It really is.
Somebody asked me this week, and I didn't really know the correct answer. Why in the NFL nobody does that?
That is an terrific question. Dimo and I were talking about that because the NFL is a league where you have to protect yourself and your coaching, and if it didn't work, you'd really get criticized. So no one's willing to take that chance.
But there's not a punter who wants to get hit by guys who play in the NFL.
That's right. That's true.
Because you would get hit.
You would get hit.
Yeah. And Scott Harding does get hit a lot. He's a tough kid. Final numbers. Hawaii versus Colorado in Boulder. The AC total offense, 286 yards for Hawaii, 405 for the Buffs. Third down conversion, again, the numbers are ugly. 5 for 19 UH, only 6 for 18 Colorado. Turnovers even, again, 2 for 2. And the penalties, I mean, it just adds to the opportunities that Hawaii had against Colorado.
I thought we did a good job with penalties, and well, there's only 2 of them, and they had a bunch of them, some pass interference calls. But again, that third down number and that percentage completion number, we've got to get better.
We got much more on Norm Chow, Inside Access here on OC Sports. Coming up, we'll talk peanut butter and jelly. We'll be joined by Stephen Tsai, the star advertiser, host of the Warrior Beat. But as we go to break, here's this week's Super Cuts That Rock. It's Marcus Kemp, a diving effort to start the second half, a 32-yard reception off the arm of Jeremy Higgins coming out of the locker room to start the third quarter. Marcus Kemp, his numbers, 8 catches for 91 yards, an average of 11.4, and that long of 32. Back after the...
Tell you guys, man, y'all been coached by real Dylan, man. Everything he tells you, man, it's like life, man. Trust me, man. This kid out here is cold. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I'm just saying that because I won the Heisman tonight. You know what I'm saying? So whatever he's telling you, man, listen to it. He's good people. He's real. He's down to earth. And good luck. Not tomorrow, though. Good luck, man. I wish y'all to have a safe game, no injuries, but just lose by 1.
How's that? Practice, walkthrough, the Friday before the game, UH football members getting welcomed by 1994 Heisman Trophy winner Rashaan Salaam. How's that?
And he probably wouldn't have been without the offensive line coach at Hawaii now. I mean, that guy opened up a lot of holes for him.
Yeah, Chris Naole, former Colorado Buffalo, current offensive line coach. You know, at Folsom Field, besides a Heisman Trophy winner walking around talking to people, there's tradition there that's some of the best in college football.
Right. Ralphie the Buffalo, great 1,300 pounds, goes, was it like 25, 30 miles an hour, zips around. It's an incredible thing. And
so you were telling me that these handlers, there's 16 of them?
16, and I understand that they are on a ride, full ride. Or
look at that. The day before the game, they got to go through their stretching. They got to warm up when Ralphie comes out the truck. They got to hold the rope and loop him around the field. That's the start of it all, right?
Right, and you got to hope that Ralphie's having a good day, because if Ralphie's not having a good day, there might only be like 12 people left on the handlers.
Well, we just saw Ralphie was having a really good day depositing stuff on the field here. Now, this is what happens before the game. Look at that. Do you want to be one of those handlers?
Well, I'd like to be the guy who stands there holding his arms out, saying, you know, that way, but I think one of them got clipped a little bit during the game, so it's a rough business.
Amongst the players, amongst the coaches, coulda, woulda, shoulda, getting to be an old, tired song?
It is, and you know, I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, okay, they were going to open with three games against Pac-12 teams, and those were going to be difficult anyway, and so maybe people didn't have them winning, but the way they came so close, that kind of just changes a little bit. Like if they've done a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, things have changed, because I don't think people expected them to run the table on the Pac-12 teams, but to have been that close in those many games, you know, I think things could change if things had changed a little bit here and there.
Your Size Matters segment this week takes us back to an old classic. Who doesn't love what you're talking about this week?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That simple?
It is that simple. Well, it's a great dance, by the way, too. But it is that simple, and that's part of what this team is about. I mean, they don't have a lot of personnel and things. People have to help out, and in this case, coaches help out, put it together.
So it's coaches and the crew, and this week's Size Matters story has to do with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly.
Bring you back to your cannery days.
Just try to help out our kids, Steve. Just trying to make sure they get enough to eat.
How many grandkids do you have?
6. So I say when I make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them, it's not quite like what I'm doing here. This many, but same process, I guess.
Luke, what's the key to slicing?
Just work, no talk.
Just do what you're good at. You know, some people are better at spread and peanut butter. I'm a peanut butter guy.
What's the ratio of peanut butter to jelly?
7 to 9.
I used to work at the Del Monte papaya factory, packing papayas. So this is kind of like that, sort of.
It seems like with all the different types of foods and nutritional things you can give them, it seems the most basic thing is the
peanut butter and jelly. That's right. We all grew up with it, right? Well, that's the best thing. But, you know, they need it. They really do. I asked them today, and they want to continue it. They need the energy right before the game, right at halftime. They do the job eating it.
So it's Coach Chow, his wife, some of the assistant coaches, strength and conditioning coach Gary Beamer and company. They make sandwiches Saturday at the hotel before they go to the stadium.
Right, before that. And it's good, and it gets everyone sort of involved, and they even have Chow's grandchild helping out, too.
So the idea is to make those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches not for the hotel. It's halftime of the game.
Or pregame.
Or pregame.
Just give them something to get out right before they get on the field.
So before they get out there in the locker room, this is pregame. Sometimes it's at halftime. They get a little pick-me-up, an energy boost with the peanut butter and jelly. I saw red jelly. Why is there no guava jelly?
Hey, times are hard on the boulevard. Sometimes there's money, sometimes there's not. But, you know, I think it's kind of a good idea. And the thing I like is when you get older, you don't mind the crust on there.
So it's a bye week. There's a lot of fixing that needs to go and happen before this team packs it up and goes on the road again.
Right, and I think a lot of the concerns are about the health, and I think it's maybe the bye week is going to help because they've had a lot of starters who have been playing and a lot of key contributors who haven't been playing because of injuries. I think that's going to be a factor, especially when you have to make that long trip out to Houston. And I think it'll be a good bonding experience and everything, but it's also having this bye week is going to help them correct a lot of the problems on offense as well as get the guys healthier.
Stephen Tsai from the Star Advertiser joining us weekly for his Size Matters segment here on Norm Chow Inside Access. Back with Coach after this.
We're just going to go back to work. I mean, we got this bye week, but it's by no means a week off. We're going to take it as we got a game this week, and we're going to prep like nothing else, and we're going to get ready for Rice in 2 weeks, and we're going to get ready to go.
You know what? Just stick with us. I know it's been a long run, and you know we've had a lot of ups and downs, and you know hopefully we've shown the fans that you know we can match it with the best teams and Pac-12 teams, and we're almost there. You know we're kind of almost shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. So you know stick with us, and we'll start to get put together.
You mentioned a couple of times these kids take it to heart what they're going through, and they're not giving up. They show up every day on time, 6:30, 6:15 in the morning. They put the work in. They deserve to get the W that they're trying to fight for.
They do. They really, really do. We have a meeting at 6:45, and we tell them you have to be on time here. Our meeting starts at 6:40. Chris starts his meeting at 6. Everybody's in their seat. And you could tell it hurt them. You know, after the game, I watched them as they got onto the bus, and that's what you want, and that's what we play for. And we have, like I said, I've said so many times before, it's a tremendous group of young men.
Who'd have thunk peanut butter and jelly be so popular on a football team?
Well, you know, the studies have been done because you eat pregame, even pregame meals. In the old days, it was 4 hours. We now do it 3.5 hours because you know you expend so much energy that they need to keep that up, and that's why and they like it. They eat it, don't they?
It can't get any more simple than peanut butter jelly.
Yeah, and that's it now. Peanut butter and jelly. Period.
And it's effective. Now, this whole travel thing, and there's a lot to be said about the miles a Hawaii team travels, any sport. And we don't want to hear other teams. I really don't want to hear other teams say, hey, it's tough to travel to Hawaii. I think, come on.
You did it once.
Here's what happens. A football team goes on the road. You got to catch a plane, get off a plane, go into a hotel, get up early the next morning, catch another bus ride, get back to the airport, hop the plane, and then you end up where you're going to play. Now, then you get to where you're going to play, and you try to go and get a walkthrough in on the day before the game, but you're told, we really can't use the field because we got a bison who gets first crack at the field. This is what your team goes through on a road trip.
Yep. That's we were a little bit late getting into Colorado, into Boulder, and they told us we couldn't get on it. But we got on. It all worked out, and it usually does. And these young guys wanted to get around, move around a little bit. You know, we've been on an airplane for so long that they need to get out.
So you get the blood flowing, and some of the Polynesian kids start to play rugby at Folsom Field, and you've got just get the legs, get stretched out, get the blood flowing, get ready for competition. And it's not just the football team, the support staff that has to travel with you. There's truckloads of equipment that bring the bags, footballs, jerseys, shoulder pads, what have you. This is an effort to get from A to B.
And I've said it before, the ancillary staff, the auxiliary staff, Al and Eric and those fellas do an absolutely terrific job. Everybody pitches in, coaches everybody. You know, we don't travel as many as we'd like to. It's a bare bones group of people, and it is 99 people. And you know, other schools, I talked to Chris Peterson before the Washington game, they travel to 143 people.
Well, and not to make, because I really don't want to make excuses, but if you're going to board a plane in Los Angeles, headed to Denver, can somebody please tell you that Vice President Joe Biden is landing in Denver, that the airport's going to be shut down for an hour and a half?
We're on the tarmac. We're on the tarmac. Hey, no big deal. Like you said, no excuses. We just go and we play the best we can.
But isn't that supposed to be public knowledge when the Vice President? Can somebody tell you guys?
First of all, they told us it's some important figure. We didn't know who it was until we found out later it was Joe Biden. But we were actually on the plane on the tarmac and just had a nice laugh about it.
Nobody wants to sit in the airplane on the tarmac waiting for anybody to land thousands of miles away. Okay, it's tough. It doesn't get much easier. A bye week this week, we look at the schedule, and Hawaii's back on the road to take on the Owls of Rice University. Then it's the Mountain West season kicks off at home October 11th against Wyoming, then back on the road to San Diego State, and the rest of your schedule, the final leg has Nevada, Utah State here at Aloha Stadium, then back to Denver, back to the Rocky Mountains, Colorado State, San Diego State, UNLV, Fresno State. All injuries aside, and it's up to 8 starters now that you've lost in a game through 4 games that did not play. You get those starters back. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing this program is ready for conference, barring injuries.
Barring injuries, and even with injuries. You know, I don't usually enjoy buys, but we're looking forward to this one because we're going to get our guys back. Even Steve Lakalaka, you know, everybody's hurting because of the football that we play, but getting everybody healthy, getting some young fellas a chance to get out practicing, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to this, to the rest of the schedule as well.
The schedule this week, what happens?
We'll give them tomorrow. We'll lift tomorrow. We'll give them tomorrow and Tuesday where they can relax. We'll have meetings. We'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we'll give them the weekend to enjoy themselves a little bit and come back Monday morning raring to go.
So hopefully everybody's refreshed. You get a couple of days off this week. Some of the guys who are banged up can heal up and get some time off. Wish you well this week as you get your football team ready to hit the road yet again.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me.
I want to thank Coach for joining us. This is Norm Chow, Inside Access here on OC Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Robert Kikaula. Thanks for tuning in.
Norm Chow, Inside Access, has been sponsored by Bank of Hawaii, Chevron, and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
You know, there's really no nice way to put it. Game 4 of the 2014 season was a huge setback for the Rainbow Warriors on offense, especially throwing the ball. Ikaiko Woozie, Jeremy Higgins, Taylor Graham combined 17 for 46 passing, 155 yards, and 1 interception.
We didn't score offensive touchdowns, so that's the issue at hand. You know, we were inconsistent the whole game, so we got to fix a lot of stuff. We didn't score, that's the fact of the matter. So, you know, there's no gray area, it's black or white, and we didn't get it done today.
For some reason our offense just couldn't convert in the red zone, and it killed us in the end. You know, we can move the ball really well, you know, 20 to 20, but that last kind of little bit is where we really struggle with. So, you know, we've got to get back to the drawing board and, you know, see what we can do about it.
UH on defense. Well, before we really get into it, This was the game's first play from scrimmage. Colorado quarterback Sefo Liufau, he threw into a crowd and he was picked off by Hawaii's Naquan Phillips. Late in the first quarter, Buffaloes hit Hawaii hard. Liufau connecting with Nelson Spruce for a 71-yard touchdown. Buffaloes got TDs on 3 straight possessions in the first half, and then they got shut down.
Second quarter really killed us. I think they had 2 touchdowns that quarter, so I mean that really hurt us. I think we just need to collectively play as a unit from the start, and we can make things happen.
Came out in halftime, locked back in, and I felt that the last 30 minutes we were locked in and focused. But the mental side of the game got us in that second quarter.
Defensive coordinator Kevin Klunsbunch recorded its second half shutout of the season, second against a Pac-12 team. Fact is, they've only given up 21 second half points all season. And after giving up the scores, Rainbow Warriors defense forced 8 punts on the next 10 possessions, producing 5 3-and-out series, plus another INT. Second this season by TJ Taimatuia. TJ's return on the interception covered 34 yards, and it set up the Hawaii offense